Happening in the world of rugby league, but the big game, of course, sold out. Belmore, 18,110. You couldn't squeeze any more people into that, and celebrations on the streets for hours after that. But, Brian, is the race over? Captain of the year, Stephen Crichton.
Moral.
Give it to him.
Yep. Give him New South Wales captaincy next year as well.
Yep.
May as well take that.
May as well.
That was a terrific game. Raiders, geez, they fought hard. They almost pinched it there at the end.
Well, people forget how close the Raiders are. If they win that game, they're equal with Canterbury.
Yeah.
On points.
Yeah. They've got a pretty ordinary for and against, so.
That's right.
But Jamal Fogarty, I mean, I know Canterbury won. We probably should be talking about them, but Jamal Fogarty, gee, he had a good game. Yeah, well, they've got the defence. That's their what's the word I'm looking for?
That's their lane. That's their
wheelhouse.
That's their niche. They
need to be able to score more points in coming up against.
They've shown that against the Broncos.
Yeah.
Brian, if you're a Canterbury fan right at this moment, and you could fast forward to mid-October, and their season finished in what manner? What would be? I'm happy with that.
Preliminary.
So if you lost a preliminary,
yep.
Happy with that?
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
They haven't made the semis in 8 years.
Yeah, I think I think exactly the same. But to not make a preliminary, would you be disappointed?
No.
It'd just be okay. We've got
next year to go.
Yeah.
Get a few big boppers. But I can see them. I'm going to have a little bit on them. What are you really gambling with? I'm going to have a little bit on them just to make the GF.
I like it.
Just to make it.
I like that. I do. Like, you got the best defence or second best defence in the competition. That's what wins and makes grand finals.
Yeah. And then they just get a little bit of luck.
Cameron Ciraldo, I'm playing at Belmore and being a big, big day for the club. Here's what he had to say.
It was an awesome day for our club and for our team. The energy and the excitement from the fans when we arrived here today, like we just spoke about downstairs, is probably something we haven't seen before and probably something we won't forget anytime soon. So these days where we get to play at Belmore, and they're really important to us, they're really important to our community, and yeah, we really embrace them. And I think they helped get us home tonight.
I've been very big for a long time, Brian. I believe the game needs to refurb Redfern Oval, and every Thursday make it a crackerjack 14,000 seat stadium, 15,000 seat stadium, 18,000 seat stadium. Corporate's a lot, and every Thursday you have a local derby there. It would it's the optics are huge. Everyone was so excited for Belmore being full, weren't they?
Yeah. Why Redfern?
Because on a Thursday, people are in the city, so therefore you make it a night out. All the financial people are there. Okay, let's go to the...
Why can't we use Allianz?
Because it's not as... Well,
suburban.
You could do Allianz, right? But I feel as though we always try and compare ourselves to AFL. They're getting these crowds. If you had a robust, crackerjack, 15,000 seat stadium, state-of-the-art, at Redfern, near the train line...
Yeah, no parking, so you're just getting your light rails.
Yeah.
You're getting your train.
Yeah, it's fine.
Getting your bus.
Yeah.
You got Allianz there. I want Allianz to be playing 3 games a week.
3 games a week?
I want 3 games there.
1 game a week right now would be plenty.
It would be nice.
Yeah. 1 game a week.
They play basically 12 games a year there.
Vossi and Brandy, Jimmy was talking about it earlier about the discussion around when you've got a scenario like the Bulldogs and the Dragons, clearly it's going to be a sellout at Cogra. Should be. Do you say, as the NRL, okay, guys, if it's a sellout at Cogra, you're going to get X. Here's a check. Can we take it to Allianz for the betterment of the game?
We cop the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're a Dragon, though, you want the home ground advantage. I'm still convinced.
You'd have to give them more than what they're going to get, right?
Yeah, but you look at the crowd got the Bulldogs home yesterday.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Massive. Exactly.
So if you're a St George supporter, you're going, well, maybe we need a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Meaning play it out of net strata.
Who do you want to back right now? Dragons, Bulldogs, Cogra?
Bulldogs.
Yep. Big game, massive game.
And the only reason I say that is because when we mentioned at the start of the show, how do we bottle, if you're a coach, how do you bottle that performance by the Dragons? It's very hard to replicate. Oops, I only fell off the chair. It's very hard to replicate it, and that's why they put a lot of effort into that.
Yeah, that's the thing. But so do the Dogs. They've been up for a long time. Anyway, just on the Dragons, 18 points to 16, and Vossi told the story well where, of course, the Dragons in 1999, they win this final comfortably. The semi-final, they flog Melbourne. They go into the grand final. They lead 14 points to 0. Blacklock, one of the great grand final tries, and then somehow lose the match. After the grand final, into the next year, first time they would meet, Mundine comes out and says, basically, they're not the real premiers. Melbourne beat them 70 to 10.
Yeah.
And since then, it's just been Melbourne victories. But Flanagan's got a bit of a appetite for breaking trends. Sharks had never won a comp. He broke that. Dragons haven't won there since 1999. Broke that. It's just good to see teams like this up and about.
Especially, I've never seen a 25-year hoodoo. You always see the decade long. I was quite surprised it had been 25 years.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
But they deserve all the credit. The Dragons, they just out Melbourne just with their grit. And I was speaking earlier that the two Queenslanders, they were the best players on the field.
Absolutely.
B. Hunt.
Yes.
And Block Sewer, Jaden.
100%. And by the way, the local derby, holy dooly. And by the way, imagine the price you'd get with Broncos leading 8 or 10-0, Melbourne Storm leading 4 or 6-0, and both get beaten. Both get beaten. The Gold Coast Titans 46 defeat the Brisbane Broncos 16, 25,000, another sellout at Seabus Super Stadium. Keanu Kinney, Michael, Jojo Fafita, outstanding, and Khan Pereira, he becomes in the NRL era the quickest to 40 tries in 39 games.
They're officially my favourite team to watch now in the TAC.
Yep.
Gordon Tallis, the great Gordon Tallis, he said that Jojo Fafita, when he first signed with the Dragons, with the Titans, he was a schoolboy sprint star, track star.
I heard that.
Yeah, he would. So they had a race, him and Khan Pereira, and he flogged him.
Who flogged who?
Jojo. Flogged him over 100.
Really?
But Desi came there and said, "Mate, you're too light to be a winger. You need to put on some weight." So he wanted him at 100 kilos.
So now he wouldn't beat him.
Now he wouldn't beat him.
No.
But he was a schoolboy track star. Like, we're talking 10.4. So you might have to, if he loses some kilos, we might have to whack him in our 100-metre race.
Who do you have, by the way, life of the line? 100 metres, track, not carrying a football, track.
I'd have Kohler. Yeah. I'd have Kohler. I saw some footage of him. The boys were in at Fox the other day showing some. He's one of those blokes the head doesn't move.
Yeah.
Like
he's got the style.
I think Hammer would go close. Saab. But I'm going.
What a race! It'd be the best race we've ever had in our life.
I think so.
Wouldn't it? Rugby league life.
Do we only do 50? Do we want the 100?
Yeah, want the 100.
Let's do 2. So 50 and 100. See if you can do the double, like Noah Lyles.
Well, Corey Parker said Reece Walsh was the fastest over 3 metres.
That's right. Well, that's pretty quick.
It was a 3-metre sprint.
3.5. And throw a few. I want to see the girls race too.
Yeah.
Your girl, Tracy.
Yeah, Tracy Chapman.
Yeah.
Jamie. Yeah, that'd be fascinating too. I love that. I love all of that. Anyway, as for Kevy Walters, it's so rugby league coaching, such a hard occupation. Here's what he had to say, Kevy.
Well, I think the 8's the furthest thing from my mind at the moment. We got more issues than making the 8. Not issues, but, that's disappointing there today, particularly the second 40.
You're a Terry reader? What are you going to say that?
I was reading the text messages.
Oh.
Say it again.
Okay, play it again.
Kevy.
Well, I think the 8's the furthest thing from my mind at the moment.
Yeah.
We got more issues than making the 8. Not issues, but, that's disappointing there today, particularly the second 40.
Freudian slip. That's a slip Freudian style. So there are bigger issues there. The bigger issues are they'll become a knocking. Remember when they finished with the spoon and all the fans came out and throwing wooden spoons everywhere? Well, the pitchforks are out for Kevy. The pitchforks are out for Kevy.
Text pause already lit up. What is a Freudian slip? Well, a Freudian slip is an unintentional error.
Yep.
Regarded as revealing subconscious feelings.
Correct.
Yes.
So he's got subconscious feelings. he's worried about his job. He's worried about he's 5'8". Sometimes you can read the papers. You can be on cloud 9.
Yeah.
You sign the big deal.
So what's your read? What's your total read on the Broncos?
They look a bit soft.
Was
to me.
last
They
year
look a bit soft.
overachievement? Was this year reality check with all Christmas they've been just out there peacocking, or
I think it's a bit of both. I think
or
it's
Flegler, Herbie,
Reynolds.
Palacia, big outs?
Reynolds missed 12 games.
Yeah.
Just having him his kicking game. The Herbie loss is huge. But I just think there might be a little bit of reading your own press. It's a big, they're big stars up there. They're
And
rock
I remember
stars.
when I was playing, and Broncos weren't even going well at the time. We went to a nightclub. We were all there. Broncos were all there, and they were like the Beatles.
Yeah.
They were like the Beatles.
I don't think it's changed. I don't think it's changed with
Yeah.
Reece. I don't think it's changed with Ezra, Paddy Carrigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good styles of kids. They're doing all the ads up there. They were 15. Like if Kevy Walters won that grand final last year, we're not having this conversation. We're not having this conversation.
We're not?
No way.
But they might be going worse.
No, but I'm just saying they've won the comp.
Yeah.
As soon as you win a competition,
Back off.
you get. I reckon you get 5 years grace.
And plus a next job too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because people always say, "Oh, he's won a comp,"
Yeah. Far out.
and we love Kevy.
I
I asked
love
Gordy
Kevy.
last night. I said, "Gordy, is he the man for the job?" And Gordon said, "I think so. Who else is there?" Well, I'll tell you who else is there. There's a Brad Arthur.
Nah.
No.
Mate, I reckon that job at Brisbane is so hard. Because of the likes of Gordy, like all the old champion players in and around. Like, at least Kevy has
What about
got,
a Madge? Could a Madge handle it?
Maybe now.
They wouldn't give him the job just out of spite.
Yeah, but maybe. But I just think that if you're not adored by the ex-players, and that's where Seibold came in with his own ideas, and he almost excluded the old players, and that was just a noose. You were no chance.
Well, that didn't. Yeah. Well, that you're right. That didn't work. But now this isn't working. To
But who
miss
has
the
worked?
to miss the final, obviously.
Name's not Wayne. Who has worked there?
Griff.
No.
Griffin
no,
Neem, I mean.
No.
I know he plays.
No. It's such a hard. So for me, I'd be more inclined to get.
Wayne can't coach three clubs at once.
I'd be more inclined to get the right people around Kevy than I would to like his connection to the conduit to the old players who have massive power, who have had massive success.
I know, but that's wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, but it is wrong.
It is wrong.
But it's real.
It is such a big club. It's a huge club, public listed company.
Yeah.
How are the shares going today, Brooks? Yeah, they're steady. See, there's not many. Yeah, I think you need someone. I remember when we got Graham Murray. So Gus had been there for a long time. Graham Murray came along for 2 years. We made the grand final in 2000. But talking about ostracising people, he came in. I think I might have told this story. We were playing Penrith. We were getting beat. And Muzz just said, everyone that's not involved in this team, get out. So the board of directors were up there. Nick Politis was there, all the heavy hitters. They're all turned around and says, righto, see you guys, to their hangers on. And then Muzz went, I said everyone.
Oh.
That was the nail in the coffin for Muzz.
For him, yes.
Sticky came in. But those 2 years, maybe they need someone there just to say, righto.
Okay. Horses for courses. I've actually got somebody in my mind, if it wasn't Kevy, who I reckon could do it.
Current coach?
Yes.
Current coach?
Yeah, I'm not saying they're the
No.
best coach in the comp, but someone who could do it. I've got someone in my mind. Who would you say? For all the dynamics that you have, you need experience. You need that sort of Queensland sort of...
So he's a Queenslander?
No, he's not actually.
Okay. Des?
No.
And he's a first grade coach
yes,
now.
Yes, he is. If it's not Kevy, the best man for the job, for that job,
Yep, for Brisbane,
yes, I reckon I've got the guy.
and he'd handle it.
He'd handle it. They'd love him. Players would love him. Old players would love him. And that's half the battle. And he knows his footy.
And he's current coach
Yes,
of.
yes.
And he's a Queenslander?
No.
Oh, he's a New South Wales.
Andrew Webster.
Are you going Webby?
I reckon he would be the perfect fit. If it wasn't Kevy, he could make it happen.
Okay. Why?
Because the old players would love him. The current players would love him. He clearly can coach. He's got that Queenslander demeanour about him. He would work.
Okay.
Agree or disagree?
It may be.
Who would you put forward?
Well, if it's current coaches, I think Fitzy would handle it. Players would respect him. He'd bring a little bit more toughness to them. I don't think they're tough enough. Not so much. I just think when things go against them, they're not mentally tough. And Craig Fitzgibbon was the most mentally tough player I've ever played with.
I get that too. But not many outside those guys, Craig Bellamy, Wayne Bennett, could pull it off, could they?
Well, there's one for you. Craig Bellamy. Remember there was talk they were thinking about getting him.
Circle of life.
Started there.
Yeah. That would definitely work.
Ooh, yeah.
Anyway,
Bilbo Baggins. Billy Slater.
Nah.
He's cruising, isn't he?
I had the same comments about Benji, and I hate saying this, but you got to do the time in the saddle. I can't say what I said about Benji and Robbie, and then say that Billy's done well at Origin, but it's a different kettle of fish.
Yeah. Well, Benji and Billy are totally different coaches too.
Yeah, but both you got to put time in the seat.
Yeah.
Like you can't just not coach ever and then get granted a first grade position. You can't. And I'm not saying this post fact. I said this beforehand. You cannot do that. And I say the same for Billy. If Billy wants to coach NRL, Billy's got to go on
10,000 hours.
10,000 hours.
10,000 hours.
10,000 hours.
Maybe we should be 20,000 hours.
1-300-01. Well, Jason Rolls taken over at Parramatta. He's been assistant coach for about 10 years at the best clubs. Robbo, Bellamy. I mean, come on. We've got to be a bit fair thinking about this. It is a run home with Joel and Fletch.
Penrith Panthers 22 defeated the Knights 14. Great game. The games yesterday, I was very, very happy with both of those games. Newcastle Knights, ticker, coming out the proverbial.
You know what? If I was an opposing coach, Melbourne Storm, Roosters, whatever the case may be, I would study two things. Brad Arthur's game plan against Penrith, Adam O'Brien's game plan against Penrith. Those two coaches have troubled Penrith.
Knights last year got them to Golden Point, didn't they?
Mate, for both those coaches, their game plan, whatever it is, and you've got to put your ego aside to just respect that whether you like their coaching in full or not, Brad Arthur and Adam O'Brien have a way to trouble Penrith.
Just no one else.
Yeah.
Just no other team.
That's right.
I tell you what, the fullback was very impressive. Isaiah Iongi.
Yep.
Oh, is it just another? They just roll out these juniors, don't they?
You know what, right? I was thinking about that. They must, like, it wasn't the case when we were coming through. Like, it would be like, okay, well, I don't know, the fullback for the Roosters is player X, but they weren't necessarily looking for that replacement player coming through. They were just a different player altogether. Whereas Penrith, to me, feels like what we expect from our fullback is 20-something carries.
Yeah.
Run on the last.
Yep.
Defend this way. And if you're not that player, you don't fit our system.
No. It's a bit like when Isaiah Yo's not there and they put a lock forward in.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's Eisenhuth. They play exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying about how, like, our Jersey Fleet team would not resemble the first grade team at all in the way we played.
So you're saying that they're signing kids. If you're a fullback, they're modelling your game on Dylan Edwards. So you're coming through, you can
on their plan. Which, and to be fair, Dylan Edwards was probably, before he became Dylan Edwards, as we know him now, he was probably fitting into a certain regime himself. It's pretty masterful. Like it's because it's kind of like the world in any vocation: plumbers, electricians, builders, teachers. Like, we've all been to parent-teacher interviews. We've all been to, I hope my kid gets this teacher, right?
Yep.
The world is full of plotters. It really is.
Correct.
But there is the Pareto principle. There's 20% of people who are elite, and Penrith just know how to find that 20%. In any vocation, the world's full of plotters, but Penrith know how to find that 20%. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, or they get someone who is willing, he might be a plotter, but he's willing to learn.
To get into that
and
20%.
to get into that 20%.
Yes.
And they it's a bit like Melbourne Storm when Bellyache does the coffee test.
Well, better framed, I should say that. Effort is. There's only 20% who are really committed to what they're doing.
And that's it. That's exactly it.
So the Sparky who's there, who's doing over and above versus the next person who's just doing what they're doing. The 20%. It's not hard to be in that 20%. Do you agree with that?
No. And if you've got a little bit extra, if you've got a little bit skill, that's just another string to your bow.
Massively.
That helps you out a little bit.
Correct.
No,
Correct.
they certainly. But getting back to that game, Nathan Cleary, the try he scored.
Oh,
it was. I heard Warren Smith talk. He was commentating. He said it was a little bit Andrew Johns like.
Of course it was.
Like he just went righto. Here we go. The game's in the balance.
Yep.
I want the ball.
Great call.
Right foot. Bang.
Yep. Great call. Let's head over to Perth, Brian, where I tell you what, they've done it tough the last couple of weeks. The Roosters, yes, they've been winning, but not without a late flurry.
No, Coach Robinson wouldn't have been happy with their inconsistency in defence. They seem to get out to that big start. This is the fourth game now I can think off the top of my head where they've raced out of the blocks. And they just back their ability to score points. That's not going to, and as we know, that's not going to win your competitions.
Yeah.
There was a couple of tries that were very, very easy for the one that comes to mind was the Maxi Plath from dummy half.
Yep.
You don't see a Melbourne or a Penrith side doing that. So if the Chooks can just concentrate, they don't seem to concentrate for the whole 80 minutes.
No, which is a problem. The problem is you just know, and the problem is over 4 games in the finals, Melbourne and Penrith are committed to 80 minutes, aren't they? You just know they're going to just blink in contest.
They play quite boring, and I don't think the Chooks have got it in their makeup.
Well, that's the thing. And their player of the day was basically a bloke who's very much not that way.
No.
Samuel Walker.
Yep.
What a game. It was Langer-esque.
Yeah.
Jimmy said today, excuse me, he was talking about, Reynolds getting older, and the Broncos should pretty much go all in for Semi.
Yeah.
But then and 1.2 was a number he threw around. But then I kind of thought, but Sammy Walker right now has arguably a better squad around him than what the Broncos have. So if he can't get it done with the Roosters right now, what's to say he's going to get it done with the Broncos?
It's that because he's high risk. Everything he does,
I get that.
High risk.
Yeah.
It's how often is that you're going to come out on top? We know Penrith have won 3 comps because they don't take high risks.
Yeah.
We know what we're getting with them. Melbourne don't take too many risks.
Well, this is the problem for Roosters. You may have a path where you've got to beat Melbourne, then Penrith, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So to go high risk, yes, you can get it done. And then to go high risk again and get it done makes it very hard. 1300 01 1170, the run home with Joel and Fletch. Holiday Road. Road. What the hell happened to the Holiday Road? My best bet of the week was the Warriors at the minus. Well, full time, ladies and gentlemen. Parramatta Eels lapped the Warriors 30 points to 20, which means the first time in 19 attempts a Holiday Roader has overcome. It was just from the very start. We're in lots of trouble, Brian.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of sugar files areas, doesn't it?
It does.
I just followed you in.
Oh, yuck.
It was just too many one-on-one misses that led to tries.
I felt like they were trying, but they were just...
They were out of sorts. Kicking game wasn't great. The Eels came out to play, and they did exactly the same against Melbourne. They started like they did against Melbourne, so they came out of the blocks. But if you're a New Zealand Warriors fan, that's it for you now. You're gone.
Yeah.
They needed to beat Parramatta.
Oh, they had to beat
That's
Parramatta.
the most disappointing thing. The Warriors had everything to play for.
Yep.
Parramatta, they were just looking to go to Sky
No
City.
Moses, no Paulo.
Young kids everywhere.
Oh, yuck.
Like it was a bad beat for the Warriors.
What about Grip of the Squirrel?
Yeah. What do you think?
Oh, I don't know. Well, the only thing I'll say is that you wouldn't sort of make it up on the run.
No, and it was inconclusive.
Yeah.
The grabbing of the Jats region. Were you ever a Jat man?
I've told you, I wasn't a grabber of Jats, but I told you about the time I played in France.
Oh, yes.
And it wasn't the Jats, it was the other part.
Yeah.
And I had two different players. One had me by the nostrils and one had me by the, how you going?
Yeah. No, I've never been a grabber downstairs. Never really been grabbed. Not that I haven't paid for, I mean. Sometimes after a big night, you just want to just release. No, that's not true.
The Warriors are 3 from 13
Warriors.
with Sean Johnson.
Yeah.
What do they do there?
Well, he's off contract. Has he got another year to go? I heard he's off this year. Brasco Dom, Sean Johnson, he's off this year. Why I say you? Because you're onto that. This is your domain. You're a millennial, are you?
Clint Gutherson, love him or hate him, very passionate player. And he does get annoying when he's up in the grill of the referees, but he's a wholehearted player.
Tries every game.
Wholehearted player. Here's what he had to say on Blaze Talangi.
Yeah, he's spoken to the team. Obviously disappointing to lose Blaze, but mate, Blaze is a great young kid, and to have the guts to chase what he wants to chase. All credit to Blaze, and mate, we love the kid here. He's a great kid, really polite kid. He's got a big future in the game, and look, we would love to keep him, but rugby league's a weird sport. It's a business, and Blaze thought he for his career is to chase somewhere else, and we've got to respect that and help Blaze grow as a player over the next 5 weeks. And mate, I just want to see him succeed as a kid and as a person.
There you go.
He, for whatever reason, he would have been my number one. When he came out and played against Parramatta and he scored that try, against Manly, scored that try, I said, they got a fullback here. This kid, they put him at 6 the following week. He's only a 19-year-old kid, a bit quiet, but he's someone that I would have thought Parramatta would have moved heaven and earth.
Breaking news, Code Sports have dropped. The Warriors have dropped. Okay, Sean Johnson.
Yeah.
Retiring.
Effective immediately.
End of the year.
Oh, okay. Okay. We were just talking about that.
There you go. So breaking news, Sean Johnson,
He's had enough.
decorated career, Golden Boot winner.
Yeah.
He's going to be retiring at the end of the year. But just back to Blaze Talangi, what about that little play where they just played it short to him?
Hits a good line. That's what I was saying. The Warriors just missed too many one-on-one tackles that led to tries. Very disappointing if you're Andrew Webster. Yep. They tried so hard last year, and they were flying. They were up and about, and their defence was great. At one stage last year, weren't they second or third best defence in the competition? I know that we were talking about their attack, but it was their defence.
But even when they made the grand final, Brian, and I said this to people at Parramatta, a bit of fool's gold because they had the 8th best defence that year.
I'm talking about the Warriors.
Sorry.
I'm talking about the Warriors.
No, you're right. You're exactly right what you're saying there. Sharkies 20 defeat the South Sydney Rabbitohs 6.
Low game.
Low game.
Low game.
Low game. Dino Mezzatezza was on with Matty White today. You can catch up on that on the podcast about the Trindle injury. So Trindle's going to be out. What do they do now in the halves? And the Cowboys 48 defeated the West Tigers 30. That's 4 games straight. 84, 70, 74, and now 78 points piled on. Absolutely piled on in that particular game. So there's issues there. Todd Payton, I was wondering what he'd say after the game, but in the end he said, look, it's not a place we've had much luck with. We've come here. We've got the points. We get out of there, and that's how it plays out. Let's do this.